to Two Hags Chinwag, and this is episode 1.3. My name is Trish, and this is
Suzy. Suzanne, but she calls me Suzy. I know it's confusing.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I should just start calling you Suzanne.
No.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, we have an episode. I think we're talking about a bunch of different things. Yule, I would think, mostly. And I am totally not decorated yet for Yule in the house. That's happening today and tomorrow. So I apologize for the lack of ambiance, Yule ambiance, but maybe we'll do little videos of our Yule things after the podcast episode. Nice. Yeah. So anyway, okay. So Susie's going to start first with her things.
Okay, awesome. Mm-hmm. So for witches, we tend to celebrate Yule or the winter solstice more than Christmas. Although to me, everything is all blended together. So whatever you want to call it or whatever you want to use for the name of your celebration, because there's a lot of different cultures. I'm just going to focus in on what we do in the Northern Hemisphere, which is part of winter, Christmas, Yule, solstice. If you're Jewish, then it's Hanukkah and all of those things. I mean, there's many different cultures and ways to celebrate. But again, I'm just going to talk about Yule today. So it goes back to the pagans, and Yule comes from a Norse tradition. So we don't have like a lot of really written chronicles. So it's just kind of things that were passed down and things that, some of the monks wrote down. And it just all started with wanting to celebrate the end of summer and the end of the harvest, and then the beginning of going into the darker times and the quieter times and the longer days. So, in Roman traditions, it was Saturnalia and just people having a good time. And I think that's what we do today.
Yeah.
But it just, it amuses me when people talk about the war on Christmas and Jesus is the reason for the season. And, they get really up in arms about not having this traditional way when really most of the Christmas traditions are pagan in origin. And, biblical scholars will tell you that it wasn't December 25th when Jesus was born, if you believe that, he was a real figure in history. So it's okay to celebrate Christmas. It's okay to celebrate Yule. It really doesn't matter because it's the spirit and the intention of what you're doing. So we come together and we exchange gifts and we have a nice meal together, and it really that's what it should be about. And also for me, the spirit of giving. So, it all started long ago when, St. Nicholas, if you want to use that storyline, giving presents and treats to children. And then, of course, there's Krampus and, who was a little bit darker figure. So, there were some darker figures back then. Mm-hmm. If you weren't good, then Krampus would come and beat you with a thorn stick or a witch hazel stick or whatever and throw you in a sack and all that, which I think is hilarious.
Have you heard of the Yule cat?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, so I just came across this in some of my readings lately, and the Yule cat is, I think it's Slavic, but it's this gigantic cat that if you're not wearing a new sweater at Yule, the cat will eat you. I don't quite get it. Like, I'm sure there's more to it than that, but I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. So I saw a big picture of this huge menacing black cat over the top of a house, just waiting to find anybody who didn't have a new sweater to wear.
That's funny. But I just love how, these traditions have come down and blended in. So, the naughty and nice list that mm-hmm. Santa Claus has. So, it's just a way of getting kids to behave themselves because everybody was stuck indoors mostly, right? So, you didn't want a lot of
unruly kids.
hilarious. I just love it. So I just really love all of the traditions, no matter where it came from or what you celebrate. And, in Newfoundland, they have the tradition of mummering.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom is from Chester, from the South Shore, and they called it bell snickling.
Okay.
I don't know
I think
if
I've heard that, but I
yeah,
don't know much about it.
it's very similar to the mummering. So, it was meant to scare away, originally to scare away, the evil spirits or whatever. So, the pagan people felt that, when the days were shorter and the nights were longer, it was a very potent magical time, and
Mm-hmm.
similar to Samhain when the veil was thin. So, it invited more spirits to cross over. So you had to protect yourself. So then it just turned into this revelry, right? Especially in Newfoundland, when you dress up, and it's hilarious because the men will all have these exaggerated bras filled, and with the wigs and the makeup and everything, and they go from house to house beating the ugly stick, and they say, any mummers loud in. And so if you bring them in, you have to give them food and drink,
Mm-hmm.
and then you guess who they are. So that was similar to what my mom called bell snickling, although that has a bit of darker origins. Wow, that sounds like orange though, doesn't
Yeah, it
it?
does.
Yeah, thanks. It's early. Time to have my tea. So so it was just started out with disguising yourself so that the evil spirits couldn't find you, and then it just turned into just having a good time and dressing up and going from house to house. So I love all those kinds of things.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any things from where you're originally from in France that you know about?
No, I mean, Christmas isn't. It might be more now because North American influence and the age of information now. So I think Europe is experiencing things that they never uh, celebrated before. Like Halloween wasn't a big thing in Europe, but I'm seeing more and more in the UK that they're celebrating more the secular Halloween. So it was the same for in France. Um, Christmas um, wasn't like it is here. It wasn't the big gift thing, and it wasn't all the pomp and circumstance that we have here. But Christmas Eve was always a big thing. And also, being a major Catholic culture, uh, it Christmas Eve was always a big thing, like to go to church and
Midnight mass.
yeah, midnight mass and yeah. So I don't know what it's like now. I have a feeling it's probably just as commercial as it is here. Maybe not quite as much because I find the French are very rebellious against North American traditions. So yeah, but yeah, when with mom, we would open gifts Christmas Eve. And I always kind of hated that because everybody else, I was done and everybody else was opening their gifts the next day. So then um, after living like with your family and that kind of thing, I got to experience opening Christmas gifts on the actual Christmas, the 25th. And that's how I did it with my family. I didn't carry on that French tradition because I didn't quite like it that much.
Well, we were allowed to open one gift
Yeah.
on Christmas Eve before we went to midnight mass. So that was like, which one were you going to pick? That was the big thing.
Yeah.
And my mom was terrible because if there was a gift from someone else that she didn't wrap, she would unwrap your gift and she would know what everyone's gifts were. And she'd be like, oh, you want to open up that one?
Oh, really?
Be like, Mom, she was terrible. She was notorious. So I don't know if you remember next door at the Carters, Stuart used to wrap in a box and a box and a box and like he would just absolutely kill the wrapping so that she wouldn't be able to get into it without everyone knowing, right? Because she would unwrap a gift and wrap it back up very carefully, but this one you couldn't. So he knew there was no way that mom could get away with pre-opening her Christmas gift from him. So that was always fun as well. So
oh my God, that's funny. I didn't know that about her.
Yeah, oh, she was the biggest Christmas person around, but yeah, she was really bad about that. She could not wait. Like she got more joy out of watching everybody open the gifts that she already knew what they were.
Yeah. I have a picture of us from the 70s around the Christmas tree in the apartment in Dartmouth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyway, it just reminded me of that picture.
So much fun. Yeah, I love that.
Mm.
So then, the winter solstice is a big deal because that was a wheel of the year thing, and people marked time that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love keeping alive. Like I love how the pagans and the spiritual community and the witch folks that they keep those things alive. So locally, I know there's a few groups that drum up the sun on the winter solstice. It's cold and it's early. I did it once.
Yeah.
Like, yeehaw. So that was just what I wanted to talk about, was that it's whatever you want to celebrate, however you want to celebrate it, and the intention and the spirit, and just that giving, right? So it's just important to me to make sure that I kind of share and pass around, because I have what I consider abundance in my life. So I want to make sure that that's honored too. And just because my mom always gave away so many presents, I have to give people presents. So I already, well, your tree's not up, but I was going to sneak a couple things under the tree. But but I do have something here. This is for both of us. So it's kind of a two hags chin wag present. Cool. So I went to my favorite fair, which is Have Yourself a Gothic Christmas fair. And one of my favorite vendors is Rustic Revolution. Lily Meadows makes pottery.
Oh, I love pottery.
I did forget to bring our witchy cauldron, which is part of our show.
Yeah.
So I told Trish, I said, I have something to make up for it. So I got us each one of these. And so she makes these tiny little cauldrons, and then she made a necklace from them.
Oh, cool.
So one has it on the either end, and then one just hangs. So you pick whichever one you want. So that'll make up for not having our cauldron when we do put the cover on the cauldron when we end our show. So
that's neat. I like that.
Yeah. So it's got that.
Oh, it extends.
Yeah. So you make it. I know.
Trish isn't bright.
Oh, I'm not coordinated. So there. Oops, sorry, I hit my microphone.
Okay, I'm going to hit my microphone.
That's going to make up for me forgetting to bring the cauldron today.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. So, I got to show you something else that she.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
This is the other gift that she brought. And it's called Grinch Pubes.
I saw it on Facebook. I don't know if anybody else saw it. I think it was on Instagram too. Like, I just find people are so clever. It's not an original idea, but it's just some that crinkly tissue paper you use to pack into presents.
So that's going on the tree when we decorate it tomorrow.
And I knew that Trish, her sense of humor would appreciate.
Almost look like my pubes. Except they're not green.
Well, I put some sparkles in there, so these sparkly.
Oh, maybe, pubes. Yeah, sparkly.
I figured the Grinch got to have some sparkle in there somewhere. Yeah, I mean, all the Christmas shows and movies and stuff, right? Like all of that, it brings back good memories. So I wanted to share also with you that for me, since my parents have passed, Christmas kind of was bittersweet. So I was in this phase for quite a while where I dreaded Christmas. I didn't want to celebrate Christmas. I didn't want to remember all those good times because it brought pain as well. And also, I was very much bothered by the commercialism that I saw, and just I couldn't go near a mall because the malls were packed, the traffic was crazy. Just that frenetic energy really, really bothered me. So I would get really depressed in December. It was just, I would enter into December with hope, and then by mid-December I would just crash, and it was a very dark, depressing time, and I felt all the loneliness of all the people who didn't have family, people who had lost people, and I'm very much affected by loss. Um, anyway, don't make me cry.
It's
So,
okay. We'll both start crying.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you share what you want to share, but yeah. So I'm just happy to say that this past year I found a really good naturopath, and she put me on some herbal medications for my anxiety, and it's just my life is so much better. And so I've entered into December. I don't even have like the highs and lows. Like I don't feel that hope and then that crash. I just feel just normal. What is normal? So, we also have to remember that there are people who don't celebrate Christmas, or, that it is a difficult time as well. So I just want you to know that I hold space for anyone who, has some trauma or, just bad memories that are associated with Christmas. Not everyone had, good parents like I had. So I understand that as well. And, there's people who, financially, Christmas is a huge burden, and that also bothers me. So I much prefer homemade gifts. With mom, it was always an exchange. Like mom would make stuff, her friends would make stuff, and they, you know, mom wasn't a big baker, but she made like pickled herring, Solomon Gundy,
Yum.
pickled herring, and all. So mom made stuff, and then her friends would come over with the sweets, and there was an exchange, and I just love that.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's just the best way to me to celebrate is I made something. So there's your Grinch pubes. Whoa, that's high class there. You should see the stuff that she makes. Like she doing the cross stitch and all that. It's like, no, Suzy makes pubes. Classy. So yeah, I mean, just as I said, just celebrate however makes you comfortable, and please don't get caught up. And I know we've talked about this in our other show, not to get caught up by the shiny things, but please don't get caught up into thinking, that you have to spend a lot of money or you have to have, this big cheery face on, because it can be a very difficult time. But if you find your group of people, whether it's family or friends, just make sure that you get together, that you reach out, and that you do something. I like to get together with my witchy group, and we do a secret Santa. So you're only buying one gift, and we, always say, don't spend a lot of money, or make it homemade. But like my mother, I buy gifts all year long. I do not wait until the last minute. I have everything all bought. How about you?
Yeah, well, because if I see something, because it's so hard to buy gifts for people, especially at our age, because everybody has what they need, and people are collecting less and less trinkets. The less clutter, the better, apparently. Um, Although I'm seeing a trend of where it's going back to more is more kind of thing. So that's kind of cool too. I mean, I'm in both camps. I can see beauty in both of them. But so I find it really, really hard to be under pressure and say, oh, I got to buy a gift for whoever. So when I do see it in the summertime, it's like, oh, actually, I think she would like this. So I buy it right away, instead of putting a note somewhere saying, oh, this is an idea to buy in December or November or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have like a gift closet. Yeah, so I definitely try to do it throughout the year, because also financially, I got to close that curtain. Just a second.
I just like the crow sitting over there watching us.
Yeah. Oh, there? Yeah, sometimes they'll perch right there too.
Oh.
Is that? I think that's out of my eyes now. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, spending money. I just find I'm not doing that anymore, really. I try to make gifts as much as I can. My crafts are very time consuming. So to make somebody something knitted or crocheted or even stitched, well, stitching takes like forever. uh, it takes so long that I can only usually do it for one person per year. You know what I mean? Because it's so long to finish a project. But anyway, so I try to do handmade as much as possible because I just love doing that. But yeah,
Yeah, well, food items are
yeah,
always
yeah.
tourists bringing food for friends. So this year I was making elderberry syrup, which everybody loves. So it's awesome, vitamin C, antiviral. So it's the health benefits, right? So I
Mhm.
was making that, and I made some herbal infused vinegars, and then I added honey to make an oxymel herbal infused vinegar. So also delicious. Although some people make faces when
Oh yeah,
I've
it
been
doesn't
making.
taste great.
My niece came over. I made her try some. She's like, "Why are you making me drink these?" Like they're good for you.
It's like fire cider. Whew.
Oh, I gave mine away. Yeah, Tammy took my fire cider. Yeah, it was
It's
strong.
potent. Yeah,
It's so good for you.
yeah.
So yeah, I love to give and receive
Mhm.
food items.
Yes. Yeah.
Food items. And I'm not a big sweet person, but I like to make Christmas treats, and I bring them into the guys at work, and they're pretty happy. I spoil them a little bit. So
Yeah.
yeah, those are just some nice Christmas traditions and getting together. So this Christmas Eve, we're going to do lobster at my sister's,
Oh, yum.
and then Christmas Day, she invites whoever doesn't have anywhere to go,
Yeah.
and we have our family dinner on Christmas Day. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, this year, Christmas Eve. Well, this tradition started with my ex-husband and our little micro family, where Christmas Eve we'll get Chinese food, um, and we used to open like one stocking, and then Christmas Day we'd have to have breakfast first because you got to teach children patience, right? So I had to teach Alicia like she had to wait till after breakfast, and we did a big spread. Um, and then we'd open gifts, and then we usually go see a movie
Oh,
Christmas
really?
Day.
Wow.
Yeah, Christmas Day movie at the theater. But now, Katie and I, well, yeah, we usually wait till Christmas Day to open a gift, but we'll get Chinese food Christmas Eve. And but we're going to my former father-in-law, and my ex-husband is going to be there too. We're going to go there for um, Christmas Day dinner, so that'll be nice. I haven't seen them in a little bit since we moved out here in the valley. I don't see them quite as often, um, especially my father-in-law. My ex-husband, I don't need to see him as often.
But you're still friendly, though.
Yeah, we're still friendly. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we were very close after my daughter passed away. After our daughter passed away, we stayed very, very close because we were the only two people that really truly understood what it felt like.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but I'm finding over time, um, yeah, we still communicate, but not as often. I think that's the thing. I think we're finally having a healthy what a separation should look like. Friendly, but not so entangled into each other's lives. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, to see them on Christmas Day will be nice.
Yeah.
I'm quite close to my father-in-law because he's like my surrogate father.
Aww.
Yeah. So.
Sweetie. And what's your favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite movie, I think I like The Grinch. Yeah, I
Like the original or the Jim Carrey one?
I like both of them.
I don't like the Jim Carrey one.
Oh, really? I like that one. I'm not a huge Jim Carrey fan, but do like I do like that one. There's something about Whoville in the actual movie, like what do they call that now? Movie when it's not animated. I think they call them analog movies now. But that's how we've become so used to having digital movies that we actually now name normal movies a name. But anyway, um, so yeah, there's something about Whoville that I really like in the real movie
Okay.
or the person movie. Um, but I also like the animated, the old animated, and Charlie Brown's Christmas. That's probably one of my favorites too. And I have like the album because I love the music in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Katie's, since we've been together, it's been a tradition because her family always watch A Muppets Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah, so we watch A Muppets Christmas.
Oh, nice.
And when I was with Tom, it was we would watch that creepy old Christmas Carol.
The one with Alistair Sims?
Yeah, I love that movie.
I know, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Katie won't watch it. She says it's too creepy. So I haven't watched that since Katie and I've been together.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean
my
it's
gosh.
not absolutely dire that I watch it, so I'm okay to not watch it. But I used to love watching it before.
This is going to be unpopular, but I don't like It's a Wonderful Life.
I hate that movie. Oh wait, which one is that?
That's the one.
Is that
Every
the-
time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, no. What's that one with the kid with the BB gun? I love that one.
Oh, where he sticks his tongue to the pole and his
Yeah.
tongue sticks.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm awful.
I forget the name of that one.
Yeah. Everyone watching screaming the name of it.
Yeah. Anyway, I like
haven't
that
seen
movie.
that one in forever.
Yeah. That's a funny movie. I like that
Yeah.
one. But no, I don't like those old classic ones, like I don't like that movie.
Yeah, I find some of the older ones like they're kind of depressing, really.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. They were like dark. I don't like dark themes, I guess, in my Christmas movie. Like I just found like Jim Carrey's Grinch. It was kind of dark to me. Like it was.
Yeah, that's probably why
not
I
very
liked it.
cheerful.
That's like I liked The Nightmare Before Christmas. And
yeah, also going to be unpopular, but I've never seen it.
Oh, okay.
I keep thinking I should try it, but I don't like skeletons.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my thing. I know I'm a witch that doesn't like bones. What's up with that?
Oh, I love bones.
They freak me out.
What a strange Yule topic this is.
Well, Krampus. I mean, Krampus.
Yes, Krampus was
dark, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if that doesn't scare your kids, I don't know what does. But
Yeah.
of course, that was the days when you could beat your kids and it was okay, right? So it's common.
Now we've watered it down to Elf on a Shelf to make kids behave, which.
Well, some people are really clever with that, right? Like, there's some really funny ones.
Yeah, there are funny ones, but it's usually because the elf died in some horrible accident or something. Those are funny.
Are dark.
But anyway, yeah.
I don't know. There's just something, magical, I think, about this time of year. Like, I'm looking outside and there's little snowflakes coming down and there's a nice little dusting of snow. Some people hate winter time. I love the winter, except by the time it comes to March and April, I'm done.
Yeah.
But the first few snowfalls are so pretty, and it's nice to have that at Christmas time. So yeah, I'm just really happy that I'm not depressed.
Yeah.
Because I can bring other people down, and I never liked to do that. So I would really almost avoid everything that I could.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would be super grumpy, and I wouldn't want to decorate, and even at work. Like last year, I didn't decorate at all at work, and this year I brought the decorations out. So yeah,
were they happy?
Well, they're guys, right? Like
they don't care.
They probably won't even notice. They're just waiting for me to bring in the Christmas treats. Really,
yeah,
right? Because I keep the little basket at work filled with suckers and rockets, and like you got to give these guys sugar. They live off of. They work really hard.
Yeah,
sugar, nicotine, and
caffeine.
Caffeine. I was going to say alcohol.
Oh, okay.
That's
well, that
after
too.
Work. That's not during work.
Alcohol in the caffeine. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I hope that everyone is feeling good and looking forward to some celebrations. Or if you don't celebrate, that's okay too. Like no big deal. And this whole thing about you can't say Merry Christmas. I don't know anybody. Do you know anybody who says like gets offended by Christmas? I think that's a U.S. thing.
Oh God,
I don't know. I think that they just like to sow fear and
yeah,
superstition and
yeah,
hatred about things to further their agenda.
yeah,
That 1% white man privilege entitlement thing, where they just want everyone to think that everyone's against them.
yeah.
Like, who's against Christmas?
I know, I know. I have
Even me, who hated it for years, was
I've
never against
never
it.
ever met someone be offended by saying Merry Christmas. I always say Merry Christmas. I don't say Happy Yule or Happy Holidays. Well, like I actually hate Happy Holidays. I hate that term. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
and not everyone gets a holiday, right? Some people
Yeah,
have to work,
yeah,
which is brings me back to another reason why I hated Christmas for a long time, because I always had to work. When I
yeah,
was in the hospitality industry,
yeah.
I was low man on the totem pole. Even
Hmm.
after 12 years at the hotel, I was still like
Yeah,
had no seniority. And so I always got stuck working
yeah.
while everybody was out celebrating. So people would come in and they'd say, "How was your Christmas?" Or the thing I really dislike the most is when people say, "All ready for Christmas? So you're ready for?" It's like, who's ever ready? No,
Yeah,
don't ask me that.
yeah.
Even though I am.
Are you? I
I'm
am
always
so
ready.
not this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, you've been busy.
yeah,
You've had things on the go, but yeah. So you want to say Merry Christmas to me? That's no problem at all.
yeah.
You want to stop by with a gift? That's also no problem at all.
Yes, I'm going to stop by with gifts because I am unprepared. I was thinking to myself, Susie's going to come with gifts. I know she is, and here I am, like a terrible human being with no gifts. Because anyway, when I get to my sort of section, I'll explain all that. But yeah, but I will drop by because we are going into town in next weekend, so I'll drop by.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries. Anyway, take it away. I've
Okay.
said enough.
Oh no, if you're not done, you.
No, I am done. I could ramble forever.
Yeah.
So it's
This
good
might be a two-parter
to.
because you know what? I don't want to edit out a lot of this. I like this. Maybe not everybody will like this, but I don't really care. it's our podcast, so so if it's long, I might just sort of break it in a natural point and upload it in two parts, so you can take your time watching it. Um, yeah, so my segment is what makes my cauldron warm, and or I really liked how Susie said it last time, is what makes me feel warm and fuzzy. And I got to tell you, it was a friggin' struggle bus trying to come up with a topic for this. Like, I was not feeling it at all because it's just been kind of a horrible 8 weeks. so, um, so I wasn't feeling any warm fuzzies. I wasn't ready to let go of the feeling of Samhain. I wasn't ready for the joy and peace on earth feeling of Yule. I wasn't ready for that. I was having very, I can't say dark thoughts, but I was having dark, introspective moods. People connotate dark thoughts with, oh, like suicide or that kind of thing. That's not me at all. I've never been a suicidal person. For the past month, because I knew this was going to be my segment, for the past month, I was like, okay, Trish, find something that you feel good about. And I could not find it. And I think I just finally gave up and said, well, you know what? Talk about that. Because sometimes, is that in your eyes?
Oh no, it's fine.
Okay.
I love it.
So, because sometimes you're especially this time of year, you're sort of expected to feel happy and joyous and all that kind of thing, like Susie said about last year for her. Um, that she just wasn't feeling that way, and she was feeling grumpy, and she didn't want to decorate. Like, I totally understand that. I'm not there this year. I hate it at work. I hate when they impose, oh, we're going to decorate for Christmas today. And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I just don't want to. And I don't know why I have this rebellion against decorating at work with other people. God, I'm so antisocial. When I speak things out loud, I'm like, oh man, you need some help. But anyway, um, but like and I think it started because like the first Christmas after my daughter passed away, and she was my only child, and she passed away unexpectedly. It's been 13 years now. Um, they at work were like, oh, we're going to decorate, and they put stockings out. They had put her name on the stocking, like, and I came into work, and that just completely, well, it floored me. It set me off, and ever since then, now I sort of resent the decorating at Christmas. And I know their intention was good. They kind of wanted, like, to acknowledge it, but somehow it felt, it was
They
just,
should have asked.
yeah, it was very jarring, right? So then, and I told them, I said, I can't do that. I can't have her name there. Um, so yeah, I've just been feeling this really, well, for a while I was feeling this very dark, introspective mood where I just did not want to come out of the feeling of Samhain, the darkness. I was comfortable there. And uh, and then I just went from that to flat. That sort of flat, eh, eh, nothing is appealing to me right now. But during that time, I was doing a lot of like researching and reading. I was almost like I was putting out, I need a spiritual connection. I just need some sort of spiritual connection. And I was doing a lot of reading and research, and I'm just very, very drawn to Norse heathenry. Like, I'm just very drawn to it. And I think um, it's very naturally kind of a dark paganism, but not dark as in evil, just dark. I don't know.
No, I know what you're saying because life isn't all, we've talked about this before, life isn't all sunshine and roses.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to acknowledge that and live in that because, even like dark, like digging in the earth,
Mm-hmm.
or dark, like, going out when it's evening time, like
Mm-hmm.
feeling at home. You feel at home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
I was just like, I've studied Norse paganism before, but there's something this time around that I feel like I was too young for it before, whereas now I feel like I'm at the right age for it. I can't even explain what that means, other than I feel like it's a very crone like energy to it.
well, the crone is the dark energy,
Yeah.
right? Because it's the waning moon,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the
Yeah.
dark of the moon.
Yeah.
And it's, sort of like the twilight years, the twilight of our years.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was something that was, it was kind of giving me some it's kind of funny to say, but some warm fuzzy feeling um, about it. But I was reaching out to it, but it wasn't reaching back to me. And I don't. The only way I can explain this, and I'm sorry if I keep bringing up the Catholic references, but I'm just very well versed in that universe. But there's a Saint Teresa of Avila, and she talks about the dark night of the soul, and she went through this dark night of the soul 40 years where she just kept pleading to God, like, why have you abandoned me? Because she loves God so much, and she just dedicated her life as a nun to God, to Jesus, and she was getting nothing back. Like, it was just a complete disconnect. But during that time, she wrote like amazing. Um, uh, she was a theologian, basically. Um, so she wrote amazing books. So, but it took her 40 years to come out. I will not be waiting 40 years for this. but but when she talks about dark night of the soul, it's a term that Catholics use now because it's like a period of dryness, and that's what I was sort of feeling. I was feeling this longing for spiritual connection, but I was not feeling something in return. And I just thought, what, why? Right now I kind of really need this, and why is this not happening? And so I was getting very frustrated with that. Um, so I just decided to fake it until we make it, kind of idea. And I'm just going to get this deck. And I did a little video where I did a reading with this deck. So I had just pulled a card for myself, and and I was feeling very flat shuffling it. And when the card sort of popped out, it was a ceremony card, and I looked at it and I was like, like, this means nothing to me. It's not speaking to me. But I propped it up and I was like, I'll probably figure it out maybe at some point. But at the moment, I thought, this is dumb. This is a dumb card. I should pull again, but I didn't, because I know better. That just because the card doesn't speak to you at the time, um, it just don't give up on it quite yet. Um, but this deck definitely gave me the warm fuzzies when I got it, and I recommend it. It's an oracle deck, and it has all the different seasons. So it's like this one is the Yule one, and she finally published the last of the 8 points of the Wheel of the Year. Um, but in it, she has, which is probably why it appeals to me, but she has like even the Virgin Mary in there, and she talks about um, how you can integrate the two, but she doesn't necessarily use the very typical Christian Virgin Mary archetype, I guess. But anyway, so I pulled the cards, set it up. I was like, I'm just not feeling anything. Going through a lot of problems with my mother, and the financial stuff is going on too right now. So everything is just, I feel like it's all happening right now. So I just kept saying, Trish, find something to be happy about so you can talk about it. But so the card was propped, and then I had this incredible dream, and I told you about that dream. I won't go into it, but too much. And it's not because I don't want to share. I love sharing this stuff, but just so that I don't ramble on forever. But it was a Norse goddess came to me in my dream, Hela. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it quite right, but it's Hel, and she came to me and she basically claimed me as hers. She said so in my dream. She said, "You're mine now forever," and it actually was borderline nightmare kind of dream. Um, but again, I just sort of thought, oh wow, that's quite a dream and whatever. And but I just chalked it up to nothing really. And then the other day, when I was trying to think about something to talk about, I thought about the ceremony card, and then I thought about that dream. I was like, actually, it is reaching back to me. You know what I mean? It is reaching back. It reached back through that ceremony card because I had this epiphany, I guess, that um, I need to not just intellectualize my reading. I need to put it into practice. So I need to do like a little ceremony, um, and maybe one that honors um, Hela or Freya or one of the Norse goddesses. I don't know exactly yet. I haven't figured that out. But then I felt happy again because like, but I was so stuck in my mire, my quagmire, basically, that I didn't see that card for what it was. I didn't see the dream for what it was. I just I shut it down, I guess. So that's
Ah.
kind of my warm and fuzzy long way to get there kind of thing. And I do feel better. Everything is still a bit chaotic in life right now, but I'm looking forward. Today is Katie's birthday, and it's our tradition, actually, speaking of traditions, it's our tradition to get the Christmas tree on the weekend closest to her birthday, which happens to be today this year. And we'll get the tree. And then tomorrow, before football, because that's her religion, um, we'll decorate the tree and decorate the house, and then we'll sit and she'll watch football, and I'll probably stitch or something. That's our Sunday tradition during football season. Yeah. So no, I'm looking forward to it actually now, and I'm still embracing the darkness, but I love the little lights, the twinkle lights and stuff. I love twinkle lights and Christmas lights, and here where we live in the valley, like the stars in the sky are just amazing. You just don't see it in the city like that. And not just because of pollution, because really Halifax isn't that polluted. It's more because it's so always foggy there. Whereas here it's a lot clearer in the sky. So I'll go outside and just look at the stars because I just love them so much. I love the stars. And those make me happy too.
Yay! Awesome.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about what in numerology, what your personal year is, because it's right now it's an 8 universal year. 2024 adds up to 8, and so that's your month and your day, right?
Yep.
And then if I add that to the 8, too bad I couldn't do math.
13.
So you're in a 4 year right now,
Mm-hmm.
and 4 is about um, stability and foundation, and just finding a routine that works for you. And in that 8 universal year, the 8 is really about manifesting. So for you, you're finding the balance this year, and you're finding your footing. And I know you've done a lot of work physically to build your foundation with this home. So then next year you're going to be in a 5 year. So 5 is about just rolling with the punches and being able to adapt to those kind of sudden changes. So it's so important for you in this to finish off this year to have that firm footing for you, that firm balance. So I think establishing some boundaries with your mom, bless her, and yeah, and then next year just being able to be flexible and adaptable. So next year will be a 9 universal year for everyone. So 9 is about the ending of a cycle, right? So wrapping things up. So you're gonna need to stay flexible next year.
Yeah.
And just
Not my strong point.
but that's good though, because then it's going to allow you that space to grow and learn and develop. And I think being here is just so essential to your balance and your mental health.
Yeah.
Like if you guys could see this place, I think the valley is magical anyway. I love the energy here, but just being here, it's so peaceful. So like peace is my theme these days.
Me too. Yeah.
Just that's all I want. It's just piece.
Yeah.
So I think, it's important for you to end the year with those balances in mind. But also your personal year runs from your birthday to your birthday.
Right.
So you'll still be working on your 4
Right.
coming into the beginning of the year. So that'll give you that little grace period, maybe to set some more boundaries.
Yeah. It's funny because I did pull 2 cards yesterday. Well, they jump out. That's kind of how I do cards. I just shuffle until something jumps out, and 2 cards jumped out, and it was tranquility was one, which was actually in the video. So that one popped up again. And the other one was sort of inner inner reflection, inner dark, sort of like the darkness, inner shadow work, I guess. And but it did say exactly that, like, set your boundaries because things are chaos. So set your boundaries, and I'm much better with that now than I was before. It's a long history with my mother, but as I get older, but I'm like 58 and still struggling with this. So if you are in a similar situation, you're not alone. Because just because you're a certain age doesn't mean you have it all figured out, right? But the years they do give you some wisdom, and they give you some healthy lack of tolerance for shit. So yeah, so it was very clear. That card was very clear. Like, things are chaos and they'll continue to be chaos, but you gotta find that tranquility within the chaos. And the other card um, was basically similar, like kind of being able to go with the flow. But I very much need structure and routine. I'm very much a routine person. And when things get in the way of my routine, I can have a very visceral reaction to it, anxiety wise, and mood wise. So, yeah, I'm not very good at being flexible outside of my routine, because routine has gotten me through life, structure and routine. And discipline. And so, but at the same time, I'm very drawn, which is interesting with the Norse paganism. It's so wild. And I am a wild child. I really am. I know that about myself. My ex-husband used to say, you were raised by wolves, right? And in a physical sense, not wolves, but I was allowed to be very sort of wild. Um, but I'm also very much a wild person. Like, I love wild things, and so it's a strange duality, and that's what I was really feeling during that time. That I was feeling flat and sort of in that dark mood. It was this pull between structure and wildness. Like, why am I so attracted to this? But I'm starting to feel myself say structure served a purpose, but it's now time to embrace your true wildness that you've always had since you were a kid. Like, Suzy and I would play in the woods all the time. Like, her and I were wild children. Her sister would be in the house reading all the time, and we'd be out in the woods. And that's just what we were like. She was like the sunshine fairy sister, and I was the dark fairy sister. Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah.
I don't know how we complement one another the way that we do, but we're so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I don't know, that kind of went off topic, but there that was what was getting me through that period. And there was just that little glimmer of the warm fuzzies. I could feel the little spark underneath the cauldron, trying to warm up the cauldron. And that was, my readings and my epiphany with the dream and the card and that kind of thing. So now I feel like I'm excited about what else I want to look into. I'm looking at. I want to get a big drum, and I want to make like a seashell rattle, because I want to be able to go out and have like drumming and creating some sort of real wild sort of magic and music. And anyway, so I'm excited about that, and I'm excited for you again. So
Nice.
yeah,
Awesome. I
yeah,
love that. That's all good.
yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah. So I think that's all that I have.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
didn't have something that made your cauldron boil over, but although you did mention some things.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's always an easy subject for me. And I know for you too, we can always find things that make our cauldron boil over. But I think I like what we talked about, between the dark and the light, because I agree with you. For me, the dark is not evil. Do I believe that evil exists? I do. However, it's not a part of my life. So once you allow fear into your life, and to me, superstitions and fear are hand in hand. If you allow those into your life, then that's kind of what evil thrives on, right? So, what I see in the world today, um, you know, people having wars. What are they? I don't even know what they're fighting over. I don't understand any of it.
Yeah,
It's
so complicated. Like yeah, it's so complicated.
and what happens to women. I guess you could say that's what makes my cauldron boil over, is how women today are still treated. We just had the 35th anniversary of the massacre at the Polytechnique University, and it was targeted against women.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
No.
There's so much misogyny.
Yeah. If
out
anything,
in the world.
It's going backwards
I
again.
think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is. And I look at what, the Taliban is doing to women. You're not even allowed to speak now.
Yeah.
Stay in the house, don't speak, and just have children.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand it.
No.
And it makes my heart hurt. And that's why I lean towards the dark goddess energies. Like I love the warrior spirit.
Yes, me too.
And I love that, I would stand up for my girlfriends, and I would stand up for any woman that I saw being mistreated, no matter what age. And not that I wouldn't stand up for a human being, no matter what your gender. I don't mean that. I'm just saying that as a woman, I particularly feel protective. And, I never had any children, but it doesn't make any difference. I would still feel, I feel protective about my niece, right? So it's just that energy that you want to see women thrive and be themselves. But in this world, it's effing difficult. Right? Like, you're mocked for being a strong woman. You're called a bitch. You're called I don't know, see you next Tuesday. I don't know. Can I say? It doesn't bother me to use the word, but I know a lot of women have a visceral reaction. But it shouldn't be. Why? Why are you offended by that word? It's an old English word for a vagina. But the reason we are is because of the way that it's been used against us. Right? Like, a bitch is a female dog, so, maybe that's not so bad. But, if you call a woman a cunt, you just have that reaction. Like, that's an awful thing to say to me. Why?
I don't.
It's just a word to me.
Yeah.
And it's only going to bother you if you let it bother you.
Yeah.
So I don't allow people to treat me in a certain way. But if we're joking around and you call me a cunt, and it's just how you're using it.
Yeah.
If you say it with hatred, now I have a problem with you.
Yeah.
But if you say it joking around,
well, even if they say it with hatred, it'd be like, you're damn right I am.
Deal with it. Deal with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, when Ricky Gervais uses that word a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a common word in in UK,
Yeah.
right? They just call each other that.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, Ricky Gervais, I think, is a good human being.
I love him.
He's a huge animal advocate.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
you're good in my eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, what makes my cauldron boil over is still today that women are gaslighted, and we're mocked and we're made fun of because we want to be strong and stand up for ourselves. I'm not talking about the pendulum swinging the other way. I'm not talking about women's rights over men's rights. It's human rights.
Yeah.
But let's face it, we are discriminated against.
Yeah.
So F you, patriarchy.
Yeah.
But the other thing you also brought up, about getting older. So this year I turned 60, and I can tell you the shift. The shift was amazing. Like at first I was like, 60, what the hell? How did that happen? 60. I didn't understand the number in my head.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel old,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm a senior. What the hell?
Right.
I just started dyeing my hair, not because I didn't love my gray hair, but I just wanted to go, you know what? I'm still vibrant.
Right.
Like it's just a number. So now I feel so much more empowered. I feel like I'm not putting up with as much crap anymore. My boundaries, I'm good with my boundaries now. And I'm not apologizing as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I really dislike the fact that women have to apologize so much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry that I'm being loud. Like, I've been told my whole life I laugh too loud. Right? Like in school, Suzy's too loud. She's the class clown or whatever. I don't think I was the class clown, but I was, I like to make people laugh. I like don't take things so seriously.
Yeah.
Right? Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Right? But, I always felt like I had to apologize for who I was.
Agreed. Yeah. And that is definitely ingrained in women, especially. I feel like boys now are at the same time being emasculated. So we've got to come to a good balance where men can be men and have their strengths that they have, because they have strengths.
Absolutely.
They do have strengths that I am glad that they have, and I don't, because I don't want to have to deal with that kind of stuff, right? They do have a warrior spirit. They have the physical strength to be the warriors and the hunter gatherer type mentality. That I love that in men, but that to me is a man when they also treat things that are weaker to them physically with respect and love. That's to me is a good man. And women, yes, they have strengths too. And it's not just, they're mothering and caring and all that stuff. No, we're warriors too. We have that bear energy that I have a bear as a spirit animal. It comes to me in dreams quite often. And I know that is a strong female energy, the bear spirit. And so we do have that warrior too, but we don't necessarily have it it doesn't manifest the same way. Like in Norse paganism, you hear about the Vikings and the Valhalla and the shield maidens and all that stuff. But they were more the ones that casted the magic to help the war, and I totally relate to that. Anyway, my God, we could talk about so much.
I know, I said I was done, but then I went off on the rant about, I know.
So I'm going to stop there, but I'm going to write this down because, we were talking, it's like, you know what, that would make a really good topic for another episode. So we're going to write some notes down and talk more about this stuff. So I'm sorry this is long, but this is really inspiring, at least for me. It has been, and it's made me happy and excited again. So that's good.
That is good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's our cauldron.
Yeah.
So yours bubbled, mine boiled, but it's at a nice simmer now, right?
Yeah. Cheers. Okay.
Thanks,
Well,
everyone.
thank you for watching and
Yeah.
listening. And
as always, send us comments or
Yeah.
questions, or if you have a topic you'd like us to talk about, or anything really,
Yeah.
just reach out.
Yeah, definitely reach out. I love reading comments, and yeah, and we'll put out some videos. Maybe I don't know if you have anything in your mind, but
Oh, yeah.
okay, I do too. I definitely want to show the Christmas decorations and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And yeah,
I wanted to do a Yule log, but I never picked a piece up off the ground to bring it. I got all the things to make it. Well, actually, there's a lady, just to put a plug in, if you don't mind. She's in Sackville, Hammond's Plains. Loon and Vine, if you find her on Instagram, and she does. She's doing a Yule log making
okay.
workshop. So she provides everything that you need. I think it's December 14th, 15th. And when she does the broom making one, I want to do her broom making.
That'd be cool.
She was at the Gothic Christmas Fair. Amazing stuff.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, she's very, very witchy, very creative.
Let me know who she is, and I'll follow her on
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah, I'll write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, do your Yule log, do your decorations or not. Do whatever you want to do. Just have a blessed holiday. Be good to one another. Be good to yourself, first of all.
Yeah. So happy Yule, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. I think
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. I don't even know if Ramadan. Sometimes it's usually around this time of year too. But anyway, it's all those festivities.
Yeah.
So yeah, happy all of them.
That's right. Let the light in.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're ready, I'm not quite ready yet.
She's getting there.
I'm getting
All right. See you in the new year.
See you.